Okay, the repository. Okay, Hifumi and Taka. For a moment, Kyoko seemed to go rigid. But only for a moment.
So then...
Well then, let's get started. She crouched down next to Taka, and without hesitation, began poking and prodding the bodies.
I knew it.
The Monokuma file was right. They were killed using similar weapons. Her movements were so smooth. She was so calm. Seeing how comfortable she was actually made me feel a little more comfortable.
I see.
Makoto, I found something. You did?
Hey.
You remember the wristwatch Taka always wore in his left hand? You did? Man, I didn't know that. Are you so oblivious to the people around you? Do you dislike other people that much? No, that's not it. Anyway, you said you had a watch.
So then...
Take a look. Ah, it's broken. You can see the hands aren't moving, right? It most likely broke when he had his encounter with his assailant. And if you notice, the hands are frozen at just past 6 o'clock. So that would mean the watch was broken sometime just after 6.
That's right.
But last night, Taka's watch definitely wasn't broken. Hey you, how long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced through the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. Ah, okay, he has a watch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that. Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
In other words...
So if it worked at 10 last night, it couldn't have been broken at 6 p.m. Meaning, it must have happened at 6 this morning. Ah, broken wristwatch.
However...
That's a nice clue. And that's not all. Look at Taka's left hand. He appears to be gripping something. You're right. There's something white in there.
Makoto.
Can you try and pry it out? Me?
Because...
Rigor mortis has already set in. Boys are better suited to this kind of manual labor, right? As much as I didn't want to, I grasped Taka's cold hand. The ice cold hand was nearly enough to cause my heart to stop beating. After some effort, I was finally able to free the object from his tightly clenched fist. I think it's one of the message of a hero. Ah, a piece of paper.
Hey.
Was that all he had in his hand? Yeah, that's it. Just a little scrap of paper. Doesn't seem like much of a clue, does it?
Is that right?
I wonder about that. Kyoko then turned to Hifumi's body.
So then...
Let's check Hifumi's body now. Perhaps he left us with a few clues on his own. Scrap of paper. Okay. How are we going to make that as a clue? The biggest problem I have right now is how the killer was able to move Hifumi's massive corpse from the nurse's office where he was discovered to here, the repository, all the way from the first to the third floor, and all without anyone noticing it. I just can't see how that's possible. Further, it seems that Hifumi died from a blow to the head. He was most likely killed using Justice Hammer 3, which we found in the nurse's office. But when we found his body in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered in blood. But now they're spotless. Does that mean someone swiped his glasses clean? But who would do that, and why? So, did you find anything?
Indeed.
I did, more than I expected, to be honest. Look at this. Ooh, a wad of paper.
That's right.
Half of me had it hidden on him. Hidden?
Indeed.
He'd stuff in his pants, so I can only assume he'd hidden it on purpose, you see. In his pants? Wait, so you...
Why is that?
It was just his pants, not like his socks or something. I don't know what that means.
Hey,
Anyway, let's take a look at the paper. Go ahead, Makoto. Open it up. When I think of how it was stuffed down his pants, it's like it better be important, Hefumi, or I'll never forgive you for this. Oh man. Oh. A note. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m. Ah.
so
That sounds very familiar. Oh. That's it. It's the same thing Hiro said. Then he was telling us the truth.
however,
Although, it's not exactly the same, is it? Last night, someone slipped a weird note under my door, and here's what it said. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. Oh frick, who the freaking culprit did it? He like lured all the people, Hefumi and Hiro, and also Taka. The time is different. Hiro told us that his note said to meet at 1 a.m. But the note they wrote to Hefumi asked him to meet at 6 a.m.
is that right?
Hold on, just because Hefumi had a note doesn't mean it was meant for him. Huh?
So,
Part of it had been torn off, right? I think there's like some meaning there. There's some meaning of part of it being ripped. Could you maybe explain it a little more? Think carefully.
hey,
Why would he have been clutching that scrap of paper so tightly? I have no idea.
so then,
What if it wasn't just a scrap of paper when he was holding it? What if it was something more important? And how would something important like that become a mere scrap of paper? That's what you need to answer.
hey,
And while we're at it, I should tell you one other thing. The two victims this time definitely had their e-books on them, so the handbooks have nothing to do with how murders were carried out. Not that there were any reason to think they were connected to the killings in the first place. So you're saying I don't have to think about the handbooks this time, right?
is that right?
If you didn't have to think about them at all, I wouldn't have gone out my way to mention it. All I said was that they weren't used to help carry out the murders. There may come a point, however, where a handbook may play as a role. A handbook may play as a role? I don't think I understand. But if Kyoko thinks it's important, I'd better keep it in mind. Okay, what's the handbook gonna help us with? Ah, frick. It's starting, man.
Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's time for the class trials, like the bright burst of fireworks, like the flash of a soul clashing with life, and so, with no further ado, everyone please meet at the usual. Make your way to the red door.
It would seem
It's unfortunate, but I suppose this is where our investigation comes to an end. You'll have to figure out the rest for yourself and come to the proper conclusion. Yeah, you're right.
shall we go?
Well, we'd better get going. Okay. Okay, this is it. Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation and they were gathered by the red door. As soon as we were all there...
Monokuma appears!
Whoa, there's two of them! He's multiplied?
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks that way because it's an illusion. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy, tough crowd.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay.
Okay, fine. And if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train. Elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please!
Hold on, I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already. I didn't do it. For serious. That reminds me. Did you ever find the other costume or the note? Well, no, but how unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey,
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first, and the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hefumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Hefumi and Taka. The one who killed two of our friends. The killer is someone right here. Oh man.
yes.
Come on, Big Mac, let's do it. It wasn't me. You gotta believe me. I believe you, hero. You're too dumb to do it.
Hey,
The story begins when we get down there. Man, I'm pretty much freaking 99% that Celeste killed them. It would appear that the culprit has been confirmed. This trial will be over in no time. Were you listening? Wait till you get to the courtroom to begin your arguing.
just the worst.
Let's hurry up and go so we can make Hiro pay for his crimes.
Damn.
I don't like Monokuma's carefree attitude. Okay, before we head there, we'll save here. I don't want to go back again. And then, we begin. I took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk toward the elevator. Once everyone was aboard, the pain train. The doors closed on their own, and the steel box began to move. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator door slid open, opening up into a cruel fate. Ooh. When I see all you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you. Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I've never held on to you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly class trial. Oh man. We're gonna set our skills today. Allows you to reload 2 bullets at once, effective during a bullet time battle. Increase the time limit for each phase, effective during class trial. Steadies your aim a little. Okay. The focus got decrease was during concentration and fever time. When a statement is destroyed. I better get that other one. Cool and compose. Increases the damage. I don't think. Yeah, let's do that. Class trial.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine if you can figure out who done it.
Yeah, we already know that.
Now then.
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro.
He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Shut your murdering mouth.
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hero, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know!
Is Hero really the killer? Or, before anything else, we have to make that clear. Okay.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints.
Oh shit!
No, it's wrong.
What the frick? What the frick did I do?
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
I think that's Hafumi's handwriting.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro is innocent as well.
What?
What?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course, he passes it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual. Oh man, this is freaking...
I got it! Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense.
You just said Hiro.
said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
The things that were used to move Taka's. Ah, shit.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. The things were used. Of course, it's the tarp.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
Oh my god, man. Byakuya.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
What?
We've all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change their mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved to the equipment room. Ah, okay, it's the... Oh shit, a new element. Frick. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're gonna add more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your amount count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the triangle button won't be enough to handle them. It'll cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the square. It's like locking on, you'll have to press the square in time with the tempo marker. Basically, just remember the square now functions as a functioning along with the X and square buttons. You will automatically reload at the start of fever time and your ammo count will not decrease. But if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all, in which case you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. Oh shit. The moment of truth. Okay.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Man, that was close. Frick. On top of freaking firing the shots, need to reload.
Proof that the dolly moved. I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, Miss Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does that mean? Oh man. Robo Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, it's wrong.
It can't bend over.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised to get anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waists. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance that the costume was.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something you can't take it off by yourself? I didn't have the stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting off. It's pretty sturdy. You don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Just. If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility instead of seizing on one viewpoint? The truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened.